Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and it's my pleasure to be here today to host our show, Women in Business. We have a very special guest here today, and I actually was honored for her to interview me. I don't do very many interviews, but it was great to be able to connect with her. Her name is Dr. Kimberley Linert, and she has created a proprietary system, which we're going to talk about today, which is really a game changer, and it's life-changing. Many people out there in the world are feeling kind of lost or overwhelmed or overcome, even in starting a business. And Dr. Kimberley is the person you want to contact who can help you get on point, who can really help you understand what is your purpose. She is a speaker, an author, a podcast host, as well as a coach. Let's welcome Dr. Kimberley Linert. Hello, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. So happy to see you again.
Thank you. It's so nice to see you as well. You're looking absolutely gorgeous. Where in the world are you joining us from today?
Georgia in the United States.
Fantastic. Well, I just want to share with you that I really was very moved and appreciative of the time that you took with me. And I hope you have an equally or better experience here today with us. So you're joining our platform today, and you've got a message that you really want to share. We talked about it backstage, what you wanted to leave the audience with today. Let's start with that now.
Yeah, so what I want everyone to know is that you are loved, important, needed. And it's really important that you find your purpose, because when you find your purpose, you're going to find the happiness and fulfillment that you're looking for. And that can be through your business. That can be through your relationships. And all that can be combined to just create an amazing life for you.
Thank you very much. Now, I'm sure with all the extensive experience you've had as a podcast host and interviewing people, you've heard incredible stories of triumph and of pain. Tell us a little bit about your greatest triumph.
Oh, there's so many. As a mom, one of the triumphs of course, is, just having children and raising them, and they turn out okay. But as a business person, it would be seeing the transformations in people's lives as they do the things that I show them to do, and as I guide them, and then they have that transformation, and it's life-changing. I mean, they become almost like different people through that transformation.
And I would imagine that has to be such an incredible feeling of joy when you watch someone go through that and come out the other end. So you're also known as the incredible life creator. What does that mean?
So I love seeing people do well. I thrive on that. My purpose and one of my gifts is just encouraging and inspiring people. So I just love to see people do well. So any support I can help them, any tools I can give them, any guidance or insight or intuition, I use all those tools. A lot of people, they've studied or learned a lot of things, and they'll say, I have this tool belt. Well, I'll tell you what, I have a tool shed full of things after 30 years. And there's a lot of things that I've worked with people, and I can help people with those different things depending on what they need.
I love that about the tool shed. I've never heard that before. That's brilliant. And so, doctor, you're also a behavioral optometrist. I have not ever met anyone with this
Mhm.
title before. Tell us about what your background is in this area.
So, a behavioral optometrist is an optometrist who actually checks people's eyes and checks eye health, but we also do much more. I have a therapy center where I look at the whole person, not just their eyes. So, I have background in nutrition. You have to look at the person's mental, emotional state, how they walk around in the world, how are they performing in the world. And I work with a lot of people looking for high performance, and so I'm looking at every aspect, their relationships, everything really affects everything else as far as the way a person performs.
Thank you, doctor. And there's an old expression that the eyes are the windows to the soul. So, in the work that you do, I think that really separates you from the 6 million coaches out there on LinkedIn. How do you think that being a behavioral optometrist uniquely qualifies you to see something in someone that maybe someone else wouldn't see?
Mhm. After so many years of working with people, I see subtle things. When someone walks up towards me, I'm watching, I'm seeing their posture, I'm seeing where their eyes are. I'm seeing I'm listening to the tone of their voice and how they're speaking. I'm so clued into all of that, and it's just natural for me at this point. And so that helps me when I'm working with people.
Thank you for sharing that. And when someone does work with you, for people out there who are watching now or they're watching on the replay and they're thinking, I'd really like to hire her, what does that process of working together look like?
So I have one-on-one programs, group programs, and I'm planning a retreat for next year, which I'm looking forward to. But I tend to go very deep with people and help people master what they want to master. And I prefer intimate relationships where it's smaller groups and we go really deep, and I'm can be a trusted advisor for you because I'm one of those people that's really good at listening, and I'm going to hold on to what you tell me, and it's going to be sacred.
I love that answer. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I know that you have a book that's available over on Amazon. We're going to take a look at it in a moment, but visualizing happiness in every area of your life. And I want to talk to you a little bit about this because I know that I have to say that I'm guilty of this. I'll say to myself, well, this area of my life is really good, and so is this, and this one's not so good, but I'm not going to worry about it because these other two are really good, and God doesn't want me to have everything, right? So, what
Mhm.
would you say to me or somebody who was thinking like that?
So actually, the book was a good place to start. This one, um, and what it does is it goes over, what who you are, what you like, what's important to you, and what your values are. And then at the end, I help you put it together. And the way I do that, it's just something simple, and other people have done it. Um, is you put it on a colorful calendar, so you put the different areas and you see what area is kind of falling out, and it helps you keep a balance of what's going on. Oh, I'm falling apart over here. I'm not doing my exercise as much as I could because exercise is blue and money is green and relationships are red. So you can take a quick look visually and see what's going on in your life if the area is kind of sinking down compared to the other ones.
Excellent. And we have your book here. We're going to bring it up so that people can take a look at it. And I mentioned to you before when we met, I just love this color, this cover.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, the colors on the cover. I feel that it just lifts me up. I feel like I'm opening up just by looking at it. Was that by
Mhm.
design that the cover would make you feel happy or smile?
Well, definitely. So red is my favorite color, and red to me is excitement, energy, power. But then the yellow is the happy, sunny, you know, who wants to be powerful if you're not happy? So the yellow is that happy, bright, sunshiny, you know, Annie, tomorrow, tomorrow. It's the happy part.
Yeah, I'm taking that away from it. And by the way, I love this sentence here. I don't know if our audience can read it, but your life will have significance and you will be remembered because of the way you lived your life.
Mhm.
And so many people, we see this, I hate to say Instagram, but we see it on Instagram where people are prioritizing their content and it's about money and it's about things. And as we know, when we check out of here, we're not taking any of it with us, but people remember how we treated them, how we made them feel. And so, what would you say you would like your legacy to be?
So I started all of this more public things, writing a book, becoming a speaker, doing the podcast, because I had a colleague who died early who was brilliant. And I said to myself, I have this, like I said, tool shed of experience, and I just want to make sure that when I leave, I'm empty. I have shared everything. I have helped people. I have passed on my knowledge so other people can continue to use it and it just doesn't die with me.
That's absolutely beautiful. We do have your YouTube channel here available. I want people to go and subscribe. And here it is, Incredible Life Creator. Tell us about the types of videos that people will see here on your channel.
So the point of the podcast is to help people find their passion and purpose. And I do that by having all different kind of guests from one end to the other. And the idea is to spark people's creativity. So when they're thinking about what they want to do or who they want to be, there's every end. So you're not going to resonate with every person on the podcast because they're so different. I mean, there's some vegetarians and some carnivores, right? But you'll find someone on there that you resonate with, and that's a person I hope will inspire you.
Lots of great content over there. So for our viewers, please go over to YouTube and put in the Good Doctor's name and you can subscribe and watch all of the content there. And my video with you is going to be there, right?
Yes, it will.
Yay, so exciting, so exciting. Okay. So you were talking a few minutes ago about bringing people together about a retreat. What do you think it is about our world? We're right now, you and I are virtual, right? We're in a different location, which is great because we might not be able to get together to do this in a timely manner. But there is something about getting together with people and having that shared experience. What do you think are some of the key takeaways from a retreat?
I think it is that. It is the relationships. In fact, I just talked to someone on LinkedIn this morning that I had gone to a similar retreat type of thing. It was a 10 day, so it was really long. And I said, "Hey, we met many years ago." And but the thing is, we're still that connected where it's like I feel like I still know her. So when you combine a retreat with the learnings and the experiential things where people are actually transforming, that's like an anchor. It's like an anchor for those transformations and it helps them be sustainable. And that's the most important thing. Have you ever been to a motivational talk and everybody's all excited, but then you leave and you're not motivated the next week? Well, with a retreat, we're anchoring in those transformations, and you look back at them and go, oh, that was the most amazing thing. And I still do that with that retreat that I went to 10 years ago.
I personally have never been to a retreat, but I would love to attend one. I know there's a lot of retreats for various things like yoga, for example. They've been having retreats across the world for longer than I can remember. One of the reasons that I've been told by people who initially were afraid to go to a retreat is because you get to the point where you feel so comfortable sharing things about your life and breaking those walls down that before you do it, you're in a state of anxiety and panic about doing it. What are your thoughts?
I think that is really normal. Most people, when they do set up any type of retreat or a deep learning situation, they're going to start out by letting people kind of get used to each other. And it has to do with group dynamics. If anyone's in business and group dynamics, then you know there are certain stages that a group goes through. So there's the coming together, And then there's the cohesion, and sometimes there's a storm, and some that might be during the transformations, but then everybody comes together again, and then there's a okay, goodbye for now. You're breaking the group. So there is emotional ways that you can actually take a group through that.
I appreciate that, doctor. And when we're visualizing happiness in every area of our life, to me, that means that we do have to face the fact that we may have repressed some feelings, or we may have gone through some things in life that we weren't proud of, or maybe we didn't speak of. And in order to get to that other side, we have to address it. And working with someone like you is a safe haven. It's a safe place because you have that tool shed and you've been doing it for so long.
Yes.
So for anyone out there who's watching and they're thinking, I'm kind of open to opening myself up, but I'm not quite there. What are some tips or some advice that you can have from that tool shed about how to at least acknowledge that you want to be involved, but you're afraid?
Wow, that's a really good question. And because you're talking about fears, and we all have fears about one thing or another. But I would say just start with something small. Like if you like to write, start by doing a journal in the morning and see if you can put your feelings there. Or if you're not a writer, see if you can speak them into a recorded device and then listen to them. You can always erase them. Or if you have a trusted friend, start there by sharing there, because it's important to be able to share these things, even if it's with your own self, so that you can make those transformations.
Absolutely. And doctor, what I found is, as a coach and as somebody who interviews people all the time, people realize they want to make a change, or they know they're in a situation that they're not happy, they don't like their work, they're not happy at home, whatever the case is. And they're committed to taking the steps, but the people around them are not supportive, because the people around them are maybe fearful that they're going to leave, or they're going to lose weight, and then they're going to look better than they do. And so what do you do if you're in a situation where you don't have a supportive community or partner?
So I think that having a supportive community is critical. So if you're in that situation, again, you need at least a friend or a group. And the good thing about being on the internet now is that you can find those groups, even if it's virtual, to inspire you and encourage you. And you just need to do that, because you can't become the person you want to be being the person you are. You need to become almost like a new person or a different personality. And the only way to do that is to hang out with people who are like who you want to be, who you aspire to be.
It's very true. I just saw a short video that I think was on Instagram, and it was basically about the different types of people in your life. And so some people are leaves, and some people are branches, and some people are roots. And once we realize that everyone's not in our life forever, once we're open to that, and I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I got a piece of news about something I was doing unrelated to this, and I was no longer needed. And I was kind of taken back. And I went for a walk, and I thought, wow, I have all this extra time I can do something with. And I came up with 4 ideas that are, 2 of them are like life changing to me. And I thought, had that not happened, then this wouldn't have happened. And so I just want to encourage people to be open to walking through a door with you and finding where that journey is going to take them, so that they really can understand you can be happy in every aspect of your life. So once someone goes through your program, is there a need for continuous involvement? In other words, do you stay involved with them, or is it sort of they have everything they need now and now they can go off?
Well, that's a great question, because right now I do not have this, besides I have a huge network, obviously, being in podcasting. But my goal is to actually put together a community of very like-minded people, and it will be very exclusive in that it'll just be people who are wanting to create that change, who are wanting to make the world better, make themselves better. And so I'm going to create a place like that because, yeah, we do need support afterwards. And we do need those people to keep encouraging us. It's so easy to go back into the muck. So we need that help.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I feel like once we make the transformation, if we still have the same people doing the same things in our life, there's that tendency to pull us down, or maybe they even start laying a guilt trip on us. Well, you were busy working on yourself. I'm over here doing, all those kinds of comments that we can imagine to hear. So in this exclusive community, which by the way, who doesn't want to be part of an exclusive community? Will people have the opportunity to work on skill sets? Like, for example, you're a professional speaker. You can tell you're a professional speaker. Obviously, that didn't happen overnight because you have to own your craft. So by you bringing like-minded people together, they could learn how to be a keynote speaker. They could learn how to hone their skills for podcasting. It seems like there's so many things, being an author. What can you share about that?
So I think by bringing people together who are all good at different things, we can use that support of the community. So I may be good at podcasting, but maybe someone else is good at marketing, or someone else is good at something else. And that's another thing I haven't really talked about yet, but I'm putting together a mastermind type of thing where people can say, hey, what do you need next? What is your next issue you're working on? And then everyone can give feedback. And then, of course, I can do the private coaching to help them make sure they stay on task and stay accountable.
And doctor, there are so many people out there who are podcast hosts, and you obviously, you've been doing it for so long, you have another level of professionalism. What are some of those skill sets that you think are really important when it comes to being able to interview someone and bring the best out of them?
Listen. Just listen, because I start out my podcast by asking people their stories. And while they're doing that, I am actively listening. I'm asking myself, who is this person? What else do I want to know about them? What would my audience want to know about them that would help them create that cohesion, create that connection, that affinity, so they can resonate with this person? And then I'm also asking more personal questions sometimes. So I'll ask business questions, I'll ask personal questions. And, who doesn't want to be asked, how did you meet your husband or wife? Or tell me about your family, or about an amazing experience that you had. So people love talking about it, but also listeners like hearing those stories, because you have to go a little bit deep to find the best stories.
That's very true. And you want to bring out the best of the person, and so they enjoy themselves. My question for you is, I mentioned at the beginning, you look so beautiful. Your skin is literally glowing. And then you've got this background behind you that looks like a fabulous place to go. How did you decide that you were going to pick this background, and also how you were going to show up today, what you were wearing, etc.?
Oh, wow. I've never been asked that. So my background is a screen. And when I first started out, I didn't have this nice screen, but I do now. And I tried some other ones out and I liked them, but I like this one better. So I kept going back to this because I am a water person. If I can be by the pool, the ocean, the beach, anything by water, I'm happy. So it makes me happy, basically. And then I have several lights around me, and I have a ring light on my face just so that you can see me, because I have been on podcasts where people are in the dark and I'll be say, do you even have a lamp you can put on your face so we can see you better? So that's what I've done with the lighting and everything. And then when I choose what I'm going to wear, sometimes it depends on if I'm going to be the guest, then I think about which platform I'm going to be on. Sometimes I just choose something different. Like if I'm going to be on with an artist, I may put on an outfit that's a little more artsy. So I tend to change a lot what I wear. Other people have like a signature color, and I love red, but I like to be creative all the time.
Well, what I'm taking away from what you just shared, by the way, even to another level, is with the screen behind you and those windows that are open, I feel like you're open. I feel like you are just open to all kinds of possibilities, and it's encouraging people to share. And that's how I felt when I was speaking with you. I know that you also do podcast training, and I'd love to have you share some stories of anything that would resonate with our listeners and viewers, meaning people want to do podcasts, but they don't have the confidence or they don't understand what's involved. Like you just mentioned with the lighting, I just had an interview with someone. She was totally in the dark, and she kind of was mad at me. And I'm like, my job is for you to look the best that you possibly can because this is out there forever. So when you do your training, what are some of the things that your clients have shared with you about becoming a podcaster?
I think it's like anything. At first, before you do it, it all seems difficult and overwhelming. But these days, it doesn't take that many steps to put everything together and create your environment where you're going to podcast. Even the technical stuff, which I'm not technical at all, but I learned a certain system. And so once you learned a system, it's not that difficult. You can do it. And so much of it just has to be confidence, but a lot of times when you have the tools, then you have the confidence too.
Yes, I think that's spot on. And you mentioned it before. If someone's really interested, they just have to listen. They have to be fully present and be open. And then the gift will come to them through someone like you. And I noticed on your website that you offer three primary services. The first one is Incredible Life Creator Podcast, which we talked a little bit about. The second, International Professional Keynote Speaker. For people out there who are getting their budgets ready for 2025 and they're looking for speakers, what are the topics you can speak on? And are you willing to travel internationally?
All right. So I love speaking about opening up possibilities, expanding your vision to open up your possibilities. I love speaking about high performance. And those are my main two. I just like talking about how you can use your vision, how you can find your purpose and your passion. And I'd love to come internationally and speak.
There we go. So, everybody out there, we're going to give additional contact information at the end, but Dr. Kimberley is available and willing to travel. Your third service, primary service, is guest expert behavioral optometry doctor, the mind, body, soul whisperer. Wow. Can you elaborate on that?
So I love doing interviews like this. And on this one, we talk more about business, but I have other appearances where I speak more about my craft as far as a behavioral optometry doctor. And I can, I kind of hook that together with how you can do this in your life. So I can show you some vision brain exercises that actually can affect your life and change things in your life so it actually transfers. So I like to talk to people about that also.
And we'll have you back on some other shows to talk about some of these things too. So, for our show today, Women in Business, there potentially could be women out there who are interested in starting a business or women who are already in business and it's not really working out. And using the process that you have where people can visualize happiness in every area of their life, are you able to work with entrepreneurs who are seeking that next level coaching to help take their business to another level?
So I tend to work with women who have already been successful, and they might even be CEOs of their company, but they're thinking to themselves, there's still a void, there's still something missing, and it might be in their career that they want to start maybe a second career, do something new, or something even where they're happy with their career, but their relationships are suffering, or there's something just missing. And I'm that person that goes really deep with them to find out what are the blocks. What are the blocks? What are the limiting beliefs? What are things that are keeping you back? And also, a lot of times people talk about removing the blocks, but also opening the flow. You have to do both.
And as an entrepreneur myself, I know I've experienced imposter syndrome. I've also not really accepted my true worth when it comes to money and undercharging for services. And it's interesting because why do I feel this way? Why do other women feel this way? I've interviewed so many women who are just, when it comes to money and their value, it's a completely separate set of standards than it is for everything else. So what could you share with us about these successful women you work with and their relationship to money in general?
So I may not be the best person to talk about this because a lot of people in the helping industries, we just love to help people so much. We just want them to get the care. We just want them to get whatever they need. And I have learned that in order for me to stay in business, I have to charge what is necessary to stay in business. And I don't have my therapy center anymore, my physical brick and mortar therapy center anymore. But when I did, I think I was probably the most expensive person in the area. And I did that because I knew I was the best and I wanted to be seen as the best. And people were willing to pay that because they wanted the best care.
I'm smiling. I just love what you said there because we do undervalue ourselves because we want to help so many people. And the thought process, at least for me, is, well, I know they can't afford it because they told me they can't, so let me work with them. But I really had my eyes open when I took a course, and one of the speakers was during the pandemic. She was online. She charges $50,000 for 5 coaching sessions, and she's in New York. People are paying the money. And I thought to myself, what's the difference between what she's doing, what any of us are doing? Because she believes in herself and said, I'm the best, and if you want me, and people pay it. Mm-hmm. So kudos to you for having your center and being the best in the area and having people who would be agreeable and to doing it. So where is that fine line between knowing our worth and then maybe being in our ego head? Because men are they're in their ego many times, right? They're just like, I look great all the time, I'm the best, right? So where is that fine line for women?
Well, I can only speak for myself, and that is that when I think about when I'm setting a price, when I think about what transformation is this person going to get, I'm trying to think about them, not about me. I mean, we all have expenses and business things, and believe me, I've been in that place where it's anxious. So this month is an anxious month because of finances, because business does ebb and flow. But you have to keep concentrating on the person you're serving and how to set the fees so that people can afford it. At least the people that need it can afford to do it, because people will pay for what they want. I worked in the inner city when I first came out of school, and these people are all in assistants. But guess what? They had the nicest watches, the nicest clothes. Some of them were, I don't know how they did it, but they're driving really nice cars. So people will buy what they want to buy.
That's so true. People will spend their money the way they want to spend their money. So you are doing so much, you're giving so much, you're putting so much out into the world. What is it you're doing for yourself in terms of self-care?
Oh, I love this question. So many years ago, I was being a workaholic when I had my private practice, and something happened in our family, and it caused me to just take a look at my life. And I cut my working down to 4 days instead of working 6, sometimes 7 days. But as far as self-care, I think that's one of the most important things. I get up in the morning and I say, I love my life. I ask myself, who am I and what do I want right now? And I do my prayers, and I make sure and I move every day. Right now it's summertime, so I do workouts in the pool because it's hot here in Georgia and I love being in the pool. And I spend time with friends and do what I love, which is connecting people, connecting other people with other people. And that makes me happy.
And you look like you're happy. And I mentioned before, you're definitely glowing. So as we're coming towards the end of this episode, what would you like to share that I might not have asked you about?
Oh, wow. That it's just kind of the same thing from the beginning. I think one of the most important things is for a person to love themselves and to care for themselves. Because when you do that, then you can love other people and you can serve other people through your business or in your families. And so it's just key to do that.
Doctor, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here today. I do want to have us share your website and any other places where people can reach you. I know you're all over social media, but do you want people to go to your website? Is that the best place?
Actually, they can probably reach me better on either Facebook or LinkedIn. And they can look at, if they want to see what services I have, they can go to my website.
Okay.
And also, there is a free ebook there. So that's this book. So if you don't mind getting it without the pretty cover and you just want to read the book, I have it in PDF form there when it's where it says free ebook.
Okay. Do we pass that or is it here somewhere?
It's at the top
right here.
where you look at, there it is.
There
So
you go.
in exchange for your name, email, and phone number, I'll give you a copy of the book in PDF form.
That is fantastic. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here today. Thank you so much for sharing the insights that you shared and telling us about that tool shed. It's not a toolbox, it's a shed. So we wish you all the best and we look forward to having you back again on another program.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Please do reach out to the good doctor. As I mentioned, she interviewed me and we had a great conversation afterwards. She's someone you definitely want to know. And why not be a guest on her podcast? It's all about caring and sharing and getting your message out as many places as you can and across the world, because we each have a voice. And so if you want to visualize happiness in all areas of your life, also go and purchase her book on Amazon. All right, we're closing out. Our next show is coming up and it's called It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, starring Mr. Roland Friedel. So we'll see you back for then. Until then, take good care of yourself and keep smiling. Bye.